Retro Road Test, Nissan Patrol vs Toyota Land Cruiser, 1992 UK specs. If you were living in Britain in 1992 and fancied a large, rugged 4x4 capable of hauling horse boxes, climbing the side of Ben Nevis, or simply letting the neighbors know that you really, truly meant it when you said you didn't care what petrol costs, two names stood out, the Nissan Patrol and the Toyota Land Cruiser. These weren't fashionable Chelsea tractors, because Chelsea in 1992 hadn't yet realized it needed tractors. No, these were chunky, unapologetic commercial-grade off-roaders, vehicles that looked as though they'd been designed by men wearing flannel shirts who thought a torque wrench counted as a romantic anniversary present. They were built for farmers, adventurers, surveyors, and people who wanted a vehicle that would survive an asteroid strike. But which one ruled the ruts, the lanes, and the fields of early 90s Britain? Today, we line up the 1992 Nissan Patrol, Y60, against the 1992 Toyota Land Cruiser, the 80 series for the UK. Both are icons. Both are enormous. Both drink fuel like a stag do in Magaluf. And both have loyal fan bases who will happily argue for hours about which is proper, which is indestructible, and which one is the real one that the UN uses, if you look closely in the background of that documentary clip from 1989. Let's have a proper road test. Styling and presence. Nissan Patrol. If you like your vehicles square, boxy, purposeful, and, dare we say it, just a little bit militaristic, the 1992 Patrol is your man. It's all right angles, big glass, chunky arches, and steel so thick it might actually be magnetic. Sitting on your driveway, it looks like it's preparing to invade somewhere. The Y60 Patrol didn't try to look fashionable, and that's its charm. Its styling suggests two priorities: durability and the ability to scare sheep into orderly formation. Its front end is a wall of metal with a grille that seems proud of its own simplicity. No swoopy flare, no unnecessary plastic trim, no aerodynamic considerations whatsoever. Nissan's view in 1992 was clearly, drag coefficient. No idea, mate. But the bumper could push over a house. Toyota Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser 80 series is still very square, but in a slightly more refined way, like the Patrol's cousin who went to university and discovered moisturizer. It has smoother edges, a less abrupt stance, and a friendlier face. It manages to look tough without looking aggressive, like a bouncer who politely apologizes before ejecting you through a window. Its proportions are classic Land Cruiser, solid, planted, and honest. It looks expensive, which, to be fair, it was. Toyota didn't aspire to build a mere working vehicle, they built something that could ferry diplomats across continents or carry a family through snow-blocked Scottish glens in supreme comfort. Verdict: styling. The Patrol is rugged charm, the Land Cruiser is rugged class. Think lumberjack versus lumberjack who also plays piano. Engines and performance, 1992 UK specs. Both vehicles in the UK were typically offered with large diesel lumps, because in 1992, Britain still believed diesel was a good idea and not the spawn of Satan. Nissan Patrol engines. Most UK Patrols came with the 2.8-litre TD28T, inline-6 turbo diesel. It produced around 113 bhp and a chunky 240 Nm of torque. Not fast. Not even brisk. But strong. Acceleration was leisurely in the sense that it gave you time to think about your decisions in life. 0-60. Eventually. Maybe. If you weren't hauling anything and had tailwind assistance. But that torque meant steady, predictable grunt, which off-road is far more useful than outright horsepower. There was also a 4.2-litre diesel overseas, but Britain mostly got the 2.8. You can almost hear the farmers complaining now. Toyota Land Cruiser engines. The UK 1992 Land Cruiser 80 series generally came with the 4.2-litre straight-six diesel, 1HDT. This was a magnificent power unit, silky, strong, and seemingly capable of running on disappointment and rainwater if diesel supplies ever ran out. Power sat at around 164 bhp with a mighty 360 Nm of torque. That may not sound like much today, but in 1992 it felt like an earthquake strapped under the bonnet. On the road, the Land Cruiser pulled with surprising authority. You could actually overtake things, slowly, thoughtfully, with prayer, but you could. On-road performance, a tale of two giants. The Patrol ambles. The Land Cruiser strides. The Patrol thinks speed is something that happens to other people. The Land Cruiser thinks speed is achievable, provided one doesn't rush. Verdict, engines and performance. The Toyota wins. More power, more refinement, more torque, and it sounds better too. The Patrol's engine is stout but outgunned. Ride comfort and handling. Nissan Patrol. The Patrol rides like a Victorian punishment device. Not because it's bad, it's just very honest. Leaf springs at the back make sure you know precisely how many potholes reside on your favorite lane. The steering has the precision of a Labrador chasing a butterfly. But the Patrol has soul, it feels like you're piloting something purposeful. On smoother roads, the ride is surprisingly controlled, but calling it comfortable would be like calling a brick ergonomically advanced. Toyota Land Cruiser. Here's where the Land Cruiser starts to leave the Patrol behind. Coil springs all round deliver a vastly more civilized ride. It glides over bumps that would have the Patrol rearranging your spine. Steering is still vague by modern standards, but far more precise than the Nissan. Body roll is present, of course. This is a 2-ton off-roader from the early 90s, not a hot hatch, but it feels stable, balanced, secure. Verdict, ride and handling. If you're driving across Britain, choose the Land Cruiser. If you're driving across a ploughed field at 45 degrees, the Patrol will probably enjoy it more. Off-road ability. This is where things get interesting. Nissan Patrol. The Patrol is an absolute monster off-road. It has a reputation, well deserved, for being almost unbreakable. With a proper ladder chassis, real low-range gearing, big approach and departure angles, and the weight of a small bungalow, it simply shrugs at obstacles. Traction is strong, articulation is generous, and the vehicle seems delighted when the terrain turns ugly. Mud, rocks, slopes, snow, the Patrol treats them like a light morning warm-up. You get the feeling that if you drove it into a river, it would emerge on the other side slightly cleaner. Toyota Land Cruiser. But the Land Cruiser also has a reputation for being the go-anywhere, do-anything, absolutely unstoppable vehicle used by explorers, aid agencies, and that one odd uncle who insists he could drive to Mongolia if the M1 allowed it. It has full-time four-wheel drive with locking center differential, optional locking rear differential, excellent articulation, a strong frame, and a diesel engine that produces torque like it's going out of fashion. The Land Cruiser is more sophisticated off-road. The Patrol is more brute force. Both can embarrass modern SUVs for fun. Off-road verdict, Patrol vs Land Cruiser. It's genuinely too close to call. The Patrol feels simpler, tougher, and may be slightly more willing to be abused. The Land Cruiser is more capable in technical environments and a bit more refined when crawling. Draw. Both are among the best 4x4s ever made. Interior and comfort. Nissan Patrol Cabin. The Patrol's interior is best described as functional with a hint of early 90s Japanese plastic. Switchgear is durable, but not luxurious. Seats are firm but supportive. Visibility is excellent thanks to the enormous windows that make you feel like you're sitting in a greenhouse on wheels. Creature comforts. Yes, some. But it's basic. If you want wood trim, soft touch dashboards, or fancy climate control, you may want to look elsewhere. The Patrol's idea of luxury in 1992 was a radio that didn't immediately fall out over bumps. Noise levels. Moderate rumble, moderate whine, moderate everything. You will not fall asleep. Toyota Land Cruiser Cabin. Now this is where the money went. The Land Cruiser's interior is genuinely plush for its era. Soft touch surfaces, better seating, more gadgets, clearer instrumentation, and even a sense of elegance. It feels like Toyota wanted it to last 30 years, which is convenient, because it has. The cabin is far quieter, more refined, and far more comfortable on long trips. Space is enormous, especially in the back, and the seating position feels more car-like than the Patrol's captain of a small ship posture. Verdict: interior. The Patrol is durable. The Land Cruiser is delightful. Another Toyota win. Practicality and everyday use. Patrol practicality. Boot space, massive. Towing capacity, excellent. Seats folded, you could fit a double mattress in the back, or perhaps the entire cast of Emmerdale. Its downside. Size. Parking in an early 90s British multi-story is like trying to park a bungalow in a broom cupboard. Narrow streets. Forget it. Fuel consumption. Yes. A lot of it. Land Cruiser practicality. Boot space, also massive, and slightly more usable thanks to a flatter load area. Towing, superb. Seating, the optional 7-seat layout is excellent. It's more refined for everyday use and better on long journeys, but it's even larger than the Patrol. If you bought one in 1992 and lived in a typical suburban semi, you probably reconsidered your driveway dimensions. Verdict: practicality. Slight win for the Toyota due to refinement and slightly better interior flexibility. Fuel economy, or HA. Good one. Let's be honest, these two are biblical in size and shovel diesel into their engines like coal into the Titanic's furnace. Patrol 2.8 TD, around 22-25 miles per gallon if driven kindly. Land Cruiser 4.2 TD, around 20-23 miles per gallon, maybe less if you express enthusiasm. The Toyota is thirstier but also far more powerful. Call it a draw. Reliability, the battle of the indestructibles. Both the Patrol and the Land Cruiser have reputations for lasting longer than the pyramids. You hear stories of Patrols hitting 500,000 miles, and Land Cruisers crossing continents without a hiccup. Nissan Patrol reliability. The Patrol is over-engineered everywhere. Axles, gearbox, frame, electrics, everything is built with the kind of overkill normally reserved for railway bridges. Its diesel engine isn't fast, but it refuses to die. Proper maintenance will see it live forever. Toyota Land Cruiser reliability. The Land Cruiser is typically regarded as the most reliable 4x4 ever built. Toyota engineering from this era was obsessive. Engines last decades. Transmissions are bulletproof. Suspension is tough. Interiors resist wear like they're made of military vinyl. Reliability verdict. Both are legendary. Toyota edges it only because the Land Cruiser's systems are more refined and still just as durable. Costs, value and ownership. 1992 prices. These were expensive vehicles in their day. Nissan Patrol, cheaper, aimed at farmers and commercial users. Land Cruiser, considerably more expensive, aimed at luxury buyers, professionals, and people who liked bragging rights. Maintenance. The Patrol is cheaper to maintain. Parts are rugged and basic. The Land Cruiser is more complex, and parts were pricier. Resale value. In hindsight, Land Cruisers hold value extremely well. Patrols hold up decently but not at Toyota levels. Ownership verdict. Patrol wins for cost. Land Cruiser wins for resale and long-term desirability.